So, you've been listening to us for a while? You have, haven't you? So you've heard all of the things that we've been saying to you in our desire to help you to understand who you are. You heard us say, go with the flow. Don't paddle upstream, go with the flow. You saw us drawing circles in the air and calling it the vortex and telling you to get in it, get in it, get in it. Get in the vortex, get in the vortex, get on your high-flying disc. You've heard it all from us, haven't you? Today, what we want to say to you, with all of that having been said before, that you stand in your now as a vibrational offerer. And in doing so, you are accomplishing, whether you know it or not, a point of attraction. And law of attraction is responding to your point of attraction. So you get what you think about, whether you want it or not. So it's really a good thing for you to become aware that you get what you think about. But it's also a really good thing for you to become aware that sometimes you can't control what you think about right now, this red hot minute, because there's so much momentum in it, it feels to you like the thought is thinking you. And in a way, it sort of kind of is. Our best analogy of this, Esther could not believe the San Francisco hills the first time she saw them. She thought they were crazy people to live on those hills and to drive on them even more. Have you been there? Have you seen it? Do you know what it's like? It's outrageous. So imagine your car at the top of one of those hills, and you decide, just for fun, you're going to see what would happen if you take your car out of gear, take the parking brake off, and just nudge it just a little bit, just to feel your power. And then your car begins to move ever so slightly, and then you realize you know what's likely to happen because you've been around here for a while. So you step right out in front of your car and you let it bump up against you. You stop the momentum in the early stages, and all is well. But you would not want to be at the base of that hill stopping that momentum, because you know what momentum is like. And your thought momentum is the same way. You want to, if you want any control over your thoughts, you want to approach those thoughts in the early subtle stages. So you know about law of attraction. You kind of get that? Do you accept that this is a vibrational universe and that law of attraction is managing it? It's not really something that we have to teach you. You didn't go to gravity school either. This is the classroom where we will demonstrate that when you throw something up, it will come down. You didn't have to go to that classroom because life was that classroom. And you don't have to go to law of attraction school either, because law of attraction is responding all the time. And if you become aware of law of attraction, then you get it, that law of attraction is bringing more like itself to it all the time. When you think a thought, hold it for 17 seconds. At the 17-second mark, momentum happens. Another thought like it converges. And another 17 seconds, more momentum, and another more momentum. It doesn't take much, a little over a minute, 68 seconds, until there is significant enough momentum gathered that if you are aware of what your emotions mean, you can feel the momentum of that thought. So as we talk to you about law of attraction, as we explain to you your source energy here in these physical bodies, as we explain to you that law of attraction is really about momentum, and as we explain to you that you stand in a point of attraction with a certain amount of momentum going on a lot of topics, and then we say, you're living, what's happening in your experience is the manifestation of the thoughts that you've been thinking, and if you like what you're living, don't change your thoughts. But if there are things that are missing, you want to add those. And if there are things that are present, you want to discontinue those. In other words, you want to be the deliberate offerer of vibration. So, with that in mind, you've written lots of books. All of them were New York Times bestsellers. As you read these books, full of processes, every process, bless your heart, every process with one thing in mind, to help you release resistance, to help you, just one peeling off the onion at a time, leaving a little resistance behind. But this is a universe that is based upon attraction. You know that? This is an inclusion-based universe. There's no exclusion in this universe. You can't say, all right, I'm not going to think about that anymore, because you're thinking about that thing that you're not going to think about while you're saying you're not going to think about it. You're thinking about it. It's still active in your vibration. So the way you exclude, can't do it, is by including what you do want. You give your attention to what you do want. You've been listening to us for a while. You've been doing this for a while. You've been efforting at this for a while. Yes, we see you. You're doing extremely well. But today we want you to hear this in a way you have not heard it before. Because when you think a thought, that thought gathers momentum. So when you say, I would really like to have more money, I think having more money would be a wonderful thing. Having more money would give me freedom to move about in the way I really want to. There is a sweet, pure, non-resistant frequency that feels good to you in a thought like that sometimes. But if you say, I would like to have more money, and law of attraction begins the momentum of that thought, and then you say, and having more money feels really good to me, and law of attraction adds momentum to that thought, and there is a freedom in money, and you're still feeling good, and law of attraction adds momentum to that thought, so far so good. No resistance, feels sweet, you're believing what you're saying, money is flowing to you. But then if you say, but I've been wanting more money, want more money, I've been wanting more money, want more money has not been coming to me, law of attraction adds momentum to that thought too. Now you're not thinking both thoughts at the same time, but you are very frisky thinkers, you know. I want it, but 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 I really want this thing that I do not have. I really want this thing that I do not have. So what's happening to you without you realizing it is you got a frequency about what you want and a frequency about what you don't want. And in the beginning, because there's not much momentum, you can't really feel the discord in those thoughts. But as you think more about what you want, which often then causes you to notice more that you don't have it, now there's more momentum on both of those thought trains. And what that begins to cause is what we are lovingly calling a vibrational wobble. Because instead of allowing momentum to take you all the way to clarity, or all the way to exhilaration, or all the way to knowing that you can be or do or have whatever it is you want to know that, but you want to know it, but you want to know it, but, and in that wobble, in time, the emotion is strong enough that you feel it in the form of emotion. Now, we want you to get so sensitive to the way you feel that you feel the wobble early on. In fact, we've been saying to you for a little while that when you wake up in the morning, no wobble until those first thoughts of yesterday begin to come into your consciousness. When you wake up in the morning, that's your best opportunity to allow the momentum of pure thoughts to gather enough momentum that then the wobble is less likely. You want to tend to the wobble early on, just like you want to stop your car from rolling down the hill in San Francisco early on. So many of you have been listening to us for a while, and you've been applying processes. Once the wobble's pretty good. And we've got some processes that work fairly well at helping you quell the wobble. But it's hard work. It's far more effort than most of you have patience or discipline or time for. Because, let's just say it the way it is. Law of attraction is a very powerful law. And when you've got a vibration going, it's not the easiest thing in the world to just offer a different one. So today, we want to talk with you about whatever it is that's on your mind. Whatever you want to talk about, we'll visit with you about it. There's nothing off limits. You'll notice a perfect unfolding. But we want to show you, if you want to, how to get the wobble out of some of those issues that have big time wobble going on. I want to show you that it's much easier than you have thought that it is. Because You are vibrational beings who haven't really known that you are vibrational beings, so you haven't been approaching life in a vibrational way. You've been approaching life in an observational way, and you've observed yourself into a vibrational frequency that is a bit chaotic, and then, oh, we love you so much, you go to all this effort to try to fix it, but you can't buck your own current. Where if you just accept that you're vibrational and start with that premise and then pay attention to the guidance that is within you. You know how your emotions, you know why they are guidance? Because you are more than this physical body that you see and hear and smell and taste and feel with. You are source energy. You are vibrational. You are consciousness. Oh, you are consciousness manifested. You are, but you are consciousness. And so you came from source energy, and the larger part of you still remains that non-physical consciousness. So as you're moving through life here and knowing what you don't want and knowing what you do want, exploring all of this, you are launching these clear rockets of desires. There's a trajectory that you were born into because you are consciousness that is eternal. You just didn't start when you were born to your parents. You were long-time consciousness. You had huge momentum. You had a trajectory already in motion, one of well-being, one of worthiness, one of blessedness. You came as deliberate creators. You came to create your own reality, not to fix things that are broken, but to explore the contents of this time and space, to feel the inspiration of all that were around you, and to come to your own personal, emphatic, important conclusions about how you would like your life to be and your world to be. And you launched these rockets, which the source within you reveled in every time you did. And every time you came to a new awareness, source rallied around it and absorbed it and became one with it and became a vibrational match to the new improvement that you found through what you have lived. This is what the evolution of all species is about, you see, this constant expansion and evolution. So now, this source energy part of you is expanding. The question that this workshop wants to ask of you and answer with you is, are you keeping up with your expansion? And the answer in most cases is not even close, because you haven't known that you were vibrational. You didn't know that you were launching these rockets. And you didn't, most of all, you did not know what your emotions meant. You did not know that when you feel fear, it means you are vibrationally very far apart from what your source knows about this. So there's a vibrational split in you. That's too strong of word. There's a vibrational disconnect in you. That's also too strong of word. But there is a vibrational resistance within you whenever you feel negative emotion that is simply an indicator that is letting you know right here, right now, the thought that you've got going on, and probably it's a thought that you've been believing for a while. That's why you got it going on right now. But this belief right here and now is not resonant with the source belief of you. When you don't like yourself, that sure is true. When you don't like somebody else, that surely is true. When you feel inadequate, that's what's going on. You have such a difference of opinion between what you're thinking about yourself and what Source thinks about you, that you are introducing resistance to it. And the negative emotion that you feel is not because there is a condition that you need to rectify. It's because you've got a vibration that you are introducing, not meaning to, introducing, that is causing enough resistance that you are disallowing the wholeness of yourself to be here in this moment in time. So, you got that, didn't you? You felt you get that mostly. You got that mostly. So we want you to begin thinking in terms of, feeling in terms of, what's your point of attraction right here and now? Are you an extension of the source within you? Are you allowing the whole of you to be present in this moment? That's what's going on when you feel clarity. That's what's going on when you feel love. That's what's going on when you feel appreciation. The whole of you is present. And you know why? Because you're not doing something to get in the way. Because the whole of you is always present with you. Source is never saying, they're out to lunch, we'll be back. Source is never saying, off on that bandwagon again. We'll see her in about 3 weeks. Source is always right there, loving through you, loving you. Right there, always right there, The question is, how much of that signal are you allowing? How much of that? How much of that? How much of that?